Hello, this article includes Percy Jackson and the Olympians Season 1 Episode 4 and Percy Jackson book spoilers. Every mythological species and monster explained in Percy Jackson Season 1. In its first season, Percy Jackson and the Olympians features various monsters, creatures, species, and races from Greek mythology. Between a wood nymph and a fury, Percy Jackson wields his sword and shield. Summary: Percy Jackson and the Olympians faithfully adapts the original book series' Greek mythology-based animals and monsters, bringing them to life in a stunning world-building style. Among these are recognizable creatures such as Pegasus, automatons, furies, minotaur, satyrs, centaurs, and wood nymphs. More animals and monsters from Greek mythology will be introduced as the game unfolds, keeping true to Rick Riordan's beloved book series. Percy Jackson and the Olympians includes a slew of Greek mythology monsters and animals, which contribute to the show's fantastic world building. Comparisons between Harry Potter and Percy Jackson have long been made, owing to the imaginative worlds developed in both book series. The universe described in the first Percy Jackson book, The Lightning Thief, comes to life with flair with Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Not only does the cast of Percy Jackson and the Olympians perfectly translate the characters from the original book, but the series' design, style, and tone allow for a true recreation of the Greek-infused universe. One major way this is accomplished is through the show's animals and monsters, which range from Percy Jackson's pantheon of Greek gods to the mythology-based monsters seen throughout the Disney Plus version. As Percy Jackson and the Olympians adapt more elements of Rick Riordan's renowned book series, the roster of monsters and animals from Greek mythology will only expand. Walker Scobell as Percy Jackson in Season 1 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. The Mythical Pegasus. Percy Jackson and the Olympians Episode 1, I Accidentally Vaporized My Pre-Algebra Teacher, introduced the character. In Percy Jackson Episode 1, a Pegasus spreads its wings on a roof. The sight of a Pegasus is the first sign to both the titular character and the audience that the world of Percy Jackson involves Greek mythological beasts. During the first episode of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Percy recalls occasions throughout his life when he noticed signs that he was half-blood. The first occurs when Percy is quite young and is lured to the top of his school by an unknown entity. A black, winged horse may be seen across the street on an adjacent roof. This is Pegasus, one of the most well-known beasts in Greek mythology. While Greek tales have naturally evolved over time, Pegasus is thought to be the offspring of Poseidon, the god of the sea, and Medusa. The Pegasus was a unique being in original Greek mythology, but Percy Jackson and the Olympians give the creature its own race, from the wild Pegasus to the ones maintained at Camp Half-Blood for use by demigods. The rhinoceros automaton. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Episode 1 I Accidentally Vaporized My Pre-Algebra Teacher introduced the character. In Percy Jackson Episode 1, an automaton rhino walks across New York. An automaton is another entity Percy encounters at an early age in Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Automatons were automated beings made of stone, wood, or metal that could do certain jobs for the gods or other creators in Greek mythology. Automatons were created by mythological beings such as Hephaestus and Daedalus, with this type of creature being adopted into the Percy Jackson books. The automatons make an appearance in Percy Jackson and the Olympians due to their extraordinary faithfulness to the source material. Another time in Percy's boyhood is seen shortly after discovering the Pegasus in Episode 1. Percy is in class, peering out the window at a massive, mechanical rhino slogging down a busy New York street. The mist, the magical veil that separates the mythological and human worlds, soon fools Percy into thinking it's a garbage truck, but the automatons are real and will play an important role in future Percy Jackson and the Olympians books. Alecto, the Fury. Percy Jackson and the Olympians Episode 1 I Accidentally Vaporized My Pre-Algebra Teacher introduced the character. While Percy's encounters with Pegasus and automatons are presented in montage, the first actual monster Percy fights is one of Greek mythology's most powerful, a Fury. The three Furies operated in Greek mythology to punish humans for various transgressions, such as murder. Percy Jackson and the Olympians expand on this idea by making the Furies enforcers of the Underworld, a realm where evil people are banished to endless damnation after death. In the first episode of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Percy meets one of the three Furies, Alecto. Alecto first appears as Mrs. Dodds, Percy's pre-algebra instructor. Alecto appears after Percy unwittingly demonstrates his demigod powers by pushing a school bully into a fountain. Mrs. Dodds transforms into a Fury, complete with leathery wings and bird-like characteristics, and asks Percy to locate an unknown object. Percy instantly kills her with a sword handed to him by Mr. Brunner before passing out and waking up, believing the attack was a nightmare. Throughout Percy Jackson's 5 books, the Furies remain a persistent menace, which means the same for Disney's Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Episode 1. I Accidentally Vaporized My Pre-Algebra Teacher introduced the Minotaur. Percy Jackson Episode 1's Minotaur Standing in the Rain. The Minotaur is another strong monster faced by Percy early in his trip. After learning the truth about his half-blood nature, the Minotaur is dispatched to attack Percy. While he, his mother Sally, and his friend Grover are on their way to Camp Half-Blood, their car is attacked by the Minotaur, who sends Percy's mother to the Underworld. Percy, overcome with wrath, uses his blade to sever the Minotaur's horn before using the appendage to kill the creature. The Minotaur was a monster in Greek mythology that was half man and half bull. While his torso was clearly human, the Minotaur had a bull's head down to the studded nose and curling horns. In Greek myth, the creature was the gatekeeper of the labyrinth, living at the center of the huge maze before being murdered by the hero Theseus. The Minotaur, as the second notable monster defeated by Percy in Percy Jackson and the Olympians, continues to play a role in the book series, and the Disney version is likely to do the same. Satyrs first appeared in Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Episode 1. I accidentally vaporized my pre-algebra teacher. Satyrs, like Pegasus, are among the more beneficent Greek mythological beings in Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Grover, Percy's best friend, is the first satyr seen. In Percy Jackson's universe, younger satyrs act as protectors, which means they go out into the human world to seek out possible half-bloods. When half-bloods discover their actual nature, protectors are tasked with transporting them to Camp Half-Blood for protection and instruction. As a result, Grover is revealed to be Percy's protector in Percy Jackson and the Olympians Episode 1. Satyrs are half man and half goat, giving them a unique appearance in Greek mythology. While Greek myth debates whether satyrs had goat or human legs, they are invariably represented with goat horns and tails. Satyrs are depicted in Percy Jackson and the Olympians as having goat legs and a human top half, except for the horns on top of their heads. Satyrs are rarely shown with grace in Greek mythology and are frequently shown to be lovers of ribald humor and a hindrance to ancient Greek civilization. This has changed in Percy Jackson and the Olympians, making satyrs one of the more important species in the fantasy world. Satyrs are extremely important to the survival of half-bloods and the preservation of nature in modern America, from their function as protectors to their hidden motivations as searchers, as shown in Percy Jackson Episode 4. Grover, one of the series' three main protagonists, leads the charge in Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Thank you for watching.